Hello, everyone. This is Kenshin1913, and I am here with another interview series. And today we are going to be interviewing a good buddy of mine, Fade Dragontear.
What's up, guys? I'm Fade Dragontear.
Yes, and I've known him for I'd say about maybe a year and a half. Maybe it's been a while. I feel like, and as we are going through, I've been wanting to interview you because you've done a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I think that a lot of your content is very good, and I think you need to be recognized.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you better recognize, out there, you peoples. So let's get started, Fade. So
Sure.
let's hear like a short bio of your channel. Like, when did you start? What's Fade Dragontear mean?
That's a pretty tough question. As far as the channel, I try to keep it as casual as possible. I don't want to restrict myself to anything. So I'll do anime reviews, let's plays of video games, reviews of video games, retrospectives, opinion pieces, pretty much anything that I feel that I want people to see, I will put out on my channel.
Yeah, and what would you say is the thing that you think you're most known for?
For the most part, it seems to be Minecraft. That would be my most popular video thing that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Secondary to that, I guess it would be my anime reviews.
Yeah, you got some pretty good anime reviews out there, like the one with Minion Tank Police, which was an old anime that I used to watch back in the day, and I was like, when you put that up, I was like, man, I remember the show, and then you were just talking about, wait a minute, did you know this guy used to do porn, and he used to animate porn? I was like, yeah, the sexy cat ladies. I
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to do a lot of older anime like that, and I do a lot of research into my videos.
hmm
I like to be thorough with the information that I'm bringing,
yeah,
um, rather
I
than just put my opinion out there. I like to back some stuff up with fact as well.
yeah, I can definitely tell that as I watch the videos because you're not only entertaining with like some of the funny clips that you use, even when you were doing that Akira retrospect, you had a couple of jokes in there, and it was just really good because you kind of summed it up like that movie is like a really long movie, and you summed it up like in within like 15 minutes, and you did a heck of a job, I
Yeah,
think.
that almost drove me insane. By the way, Akira, trying to
Yeah.
realize that some of the stuff that I get into is like really complex, and it's things that I enjoyed when I was younger but didn't fully understand. So looking back at it as an adult, I have a little bit more of an analytical eye.
Mhm.
So I managed to take a lot more out of this media nowadays than I used to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So let me ask you this, Fade. Where did you get your channel name from? Where did that originate from?
Um, that's actually a really long story. That would have been almost a decade ago.
Mhm.
I used to play an MMORPG called Tibia, and that game's still running. It's just this old like MMORPG where you basically play a character and you go around fight trolls or demons or whatever it may be. And my character in that was Fade Dragontear. It was basically like a family name with the other players that I was playing with at the time. So we had Fade Dragontear, and then there was like a Saman Dragontear, and there was like 20 different people with all the like different first names, and then Dragontear. So I
Mhm.
just happened to be Fade Dragontear and sort of stuck.
That's pretty cool. So you've kept, not to give away anything with any other accounts that you might have out there, but usually the accounts that you would use would be Fade Dragontear then.
Yeah, like generally I'll go for Fade first, and then if I can't get Fade, I'll go for like Dragon Tier or Fade Dragon
Uh huh.
Tier or Dragon Fade or some variation of Dragon Tier and Fade, or I try to keep it consistent.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's not giving away anything. I'm Fade and everything.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you need a
Yeah.
Fade, it's me.
I
No.
remember actually a kind of funny story is I was looking up PS2 emulators, right, and I ended up finding um, a thing about Breath of Fire 5 because I was looking at LP that game, and I noticed that there was a guy on there that was talking about a lot of quality issues and like how to get them done, and I noticed it was Fade, and then I'm like, is this Fade Dragontear? And I was like looking through it, and I'm like, holy crap, this is him, because then you were talking about how you were doing a retrospective of
Right.
Breath of Fire 5, and I was like, holy crap, maybe he could help me out. And then I was like, Fade, I noticed that you posted something up on this PS2 emulator thing. You mind if you could help me? By the way, this guy's the man with that stuff, definitely.
Yeah, I make heavy use of emulators to try to actually enhance old games.
Mhm.
So for the most part, with like PS2 games, for example, with Breath of Fire, you're able to, boost the resolution through emulation on the PC to allow the games to actually play at a much higher resolution than they were originally designed in.
Hmm.
So it's essentially like a HD remake for games that don't have HD remakes.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I remember one time you were telling me that like if you played Shadow of the Colossus or even Ico on your PS2 emulator, it actually looks better than if you played the HD remake.
well, I mean, that's debatable. There are definitely videos on YouTube that you could check out that have like side by side comparisons where you're like, that's pretty, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think I would call it for PCs though, because with the PC you have the ability to make those changes
Mhm.
through the emulator. Like you can go in and actually change, like, okay, well, we're going to change how, the game reads in the cycle rate, or add this hack to it or whatever to make it, look prettier. You can add filters, and it's a very, very interesting. It's an interesting way to experience old games.
Mhm. Definitely, I would have to say that too because, like, the only thing that I find like if that I find emulators better than everything rather than just playing them on the console. Like if you're doing an LP, except for like if there's like emulator glitches. But what you want, you're emulating.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you're doing like a let's play, it's a lot harder to hide any flaws that there may be in the emulation. So, for example, for like the more produced type videos, like the Zone of the Enders or the Breath of Fire videos, any problems that I had with emulation, obviously I could just edit out because I'm only using like a fraction of the footage that I filmed for those. Like
Mhm.
I played through the entire game, filming the whole thing, and then only cut it down to a 5 minute video out of like 50 hours of play.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of room for me to sort of hide some of the weaknesses of the emulation, I suppose, when I'm doing that kind of boosting.
Mhm. So speaking of your video series, let me ask you, Fade, what's the video series or just a single video that you're probably most proud of?
That I'm most proud of. That's
Mhm.
kind of a tough one. I have like they're all my babies, right?
Yeah.
I would have to say the ones that I put the most work into are the ones that I'm the most proud of, which would be probably the top five adult anime or the top five adult American adult animation videos.
Mhm.
Those ones took me like months and months of actually writing the script and getting like the ideas from my head down onto paper that was like a feasible thought. It was very it was a very enlightening experience, I guess. I suppose would be one way to put it.
Mhm.
I learned a lot about myself and like how to write a script properly while making those videos.
Yeah. So what? So you're pretty known for, I would say, retrospectives and like top five anime or top five whatever kind of videos. Like, so what is the process that you go into when you're thinking about making a video like this? Like, obviously, like with a Breath of Fire retrospective, you would probably obviously play the game and take notes about the game, and but then what? How does it go when you're writing a script? Can you kind of like bring us into that process?
Yeah, I can give you a brief glimpse into that process. So basically, I'll start. Let's say we're going to do a retrospective for a game. I got a couple in mind. Let's say like Chrono Trigger or something like that.
Mhm.
So I'll pick up Chrono Trigger. I'll start playing it. And I'll just keep like a little notepad in the side as I'm filming. I'll also like talk out loud with my thoughts. But every now and then, I'll just keep in mind that I am sort of writing this little script. I'm just jotting down little thoughts and possible jokes, points of interest in a very rough form as I play through the game. And then once I get the game, finished, I have an idea of what I want to say. Then I sort of format it for YouTube. So I'll go back over it again. And I'll be like, okay, so I need an intro, and like I think about it visually as well while I'm writing the script. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I'll say this part while the head title's up, and then we can cut to this part that has some relevance to what I'm saying. So it's a really complex process that I take. I assume it could probably be a lot easier on me if I wanted to be less thorough about things.
Mhm.
Um,
I think you're doing a hell of a job personally. I like the fact that you're very thorough. In fact, I know that like you definitely as you're talking, you obviously take a lot more effort into doing your videos and a lot more time and care and just like not to bust on LPers out there, but usually we just take raw footage of what we did, edit it together, and then upload it. You've got quite a task in like figuring out like, all right, I want to use this clip, I want to talk about this part, and then even with the list like of like the top 5 adult animes, it's like how do you come up with that list? Like, do you already have like some? Is it biased towards your? Obviously, it must be biased towards your
Of
experiences.
course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, like, well, for like just the idea of the top 5 adult anime, that sort of, or from the top 5 American adult animation, that sprung from the top 5 adult anime.
Mhm.
And yeah, obviously it's all based in my own experiences in life, and I can only really speak from what I know.
Yeah.
Most of the comments on the anime video that I get is, this here, oh, well, this here is one of my favorite animes, you should check it out, Fade. People suggesting that kind of stuff, and like actually I've learned about a lot of really cool anime that way.
Yeah. How much do you feel? How much do you interact with your subscribers, and how important do you feel it is to interact with your viewers? Like, as you were just mentioning, you get a lot of people who say, "Oh man, you should check out this anime. You should check out that." You think it's obviously? Do you think it's a good thing to interact with your subscribers and maybe like have it feel like a community?
Oh, definitely. Mind you, I'm probably one of the worst people for that. Because I don't often check my comments because I get a lot of. Okay, here's the thing with my channel. I got the Minecraft video that has like 3 million views, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people like still watch it and leave stupid comments that I don't really pay attention to. So as far as that video, I ignore all of my comments, and then for other stuff, like I try to be a lot more interactive with my subscribers in those. But yeah, for the most part, the Minecraft ones, like I get comments like, "You suck. Why would you even upload this video?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna interact with you.
Yeah. I usually have a rule of like if it's a negative comment and I feel that it gets real negative, I just block the person who puts it, and then I just like delete the comment because it's like I don't need
Yeah.
negativity. But I like
Luckily, I haven't gotten anybody like really trolly. I've just had like passing comments like, "You're a noob, Fade," and I'm like, you know what? That's fine. You
Yeah.
watched the video and you probably disliked it or whatever, but
hmm
whatever.
You know what? It's hard on the internet to tell when someone is being sarcastic. I mean, or
That's
even
true.
or even just joking, like, "Man, you really suck at this game," and it's like, obviously there's no offense taken because you're like, maybe I did, I don't know, and it's like if only they put italics, I think in comment sections, you'd be able to really weed out all the sarcasm, I think, or at least know that it's sarcasm.
So it's with the comments, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like when you're first starting out your channel, like any feedback or any kind of any kind of interaction that you can get with your subscribers is great. When you reach a certain point with like a certain video, though, like it's just sort of it's too much maintenance to keep up, and a lot of them do end up like just going to the wayside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I appreciate more like a comment that comes into something that I put more work into. Like I'm definitely more pleased to see. Like if I wake up in the morning and I see a comment on like a newly uploaded video, for example, it's like, oh, that sort of makes my day for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas if I see one on the Minecraft video, it's like, whatever, more
Mhm.
spam. So
Yeah.
so I went off on a tangent on that one.
Hey,
So
that's all right, man. Because you know what? Sometimes you get comments where it's just like, I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm just gonna leave this alone.
yeah.
I get a lot of those where it's like blah 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 blah, and it's like, all right,
Thank
yeah,
you for interacting with me.
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point.
Like sometimes when I get a comment, it's weird. Like when they're like, "You're awesome," you got it. And I'm like, all I can really say is thanks. That's really, I mean, like, so sometimes I just won't respond, and I'm sure people will be just like, "Wow, I gave him a compliment. He's a dick. He never answered me back." And it's like, what can you do? You get so many a day, you can't answer every
Yeah.
single one.
Exactly. Well, I try to answer as many like legit comments as I can, get to. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if somebody's asking a question or something like that, I'll always try to answer it.
Yeah.
Or if I feel it's something that merits a response. But yeah, for the most part, like the one popular video that I have that has like a bunch of comments, yeah, I ended up actually ignoring that after a while. Sort
Mhm.
of. I guess me actually saying that out loud now, I learned something about myself.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you get tons of comments on them, like I said, you can't answer them all, especially if it's on one video. And then how YouTube is how laid out at this point. You know,
Yeah.
you see the top comment where it's like, and then there's all these other ones you can't respond to everything.
Yeah,
I
it's
find
sort of interesting to see how like the really big YouTubers how that must be for their channel and like how hard it must be to
yeah.
look at their comments or like even try to start to respond to people or interact with people
Yeah,
on that kind of a level.
especially when you get you might get thousands of comments a day. You obviously
Yeah.
can't answer 1,000. You'd be sitting there for hours. Usually, my rule of thumb is if someone does ask a question, I will try to answer it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, well, it's fortunate for me. Like, if anybody asks a question on a non-Minecraft video on my channel, generally my channel's not spammed enough that I can get back to them at least.
Hmm.
For now. Now, ideally, that's not going to happen in the future. Ideally, my channel's going to be broken and I'm not going to be able to respond to anybody, I guess.
Yeah. So
Just sort of thinking about things. I don't know.
speaking of your channel, all right, what do you think your goals are for your channel, and what do you think? What do you hope to achieve? Do you hope to like get like? You're like one day, man. I want to make this video about like. Do you have a future project in mind where it's like, this is gonna be my like baby. This is the project that's gonna get my channel to be well known. Or I
Uh,
mean, I don't know if your channel
um,
is there for popularity or just there to make videos and whatnot.
um, Honestly, I don't know why my channel's here anymore either. I started out, just uploading gameplay videos and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But it's recently evolved into a lot more than that for me. It's my channel. It's very personal for me. It's basically sort of like a diary for me, like a release where I can sort of like vent these nerd thoughts that I have and get them out of my head. But I mean, that being said, like even though I do the videos just because like I love creating content like that, I do want to be successful.
Hmm.
So like I do actively work toward making my channel be a little bit more successful.
Hmm.
As far as goals, like I mean, I had a goal of like I want 1 million views, so I met that, and then it's about setting another goal. It's so now I'm looking for my next major goal is 5,000 subscribers, which I should be nearing very soon. Actually, you passed 5,000 recently, didn't you, Kenshin?
Yeah. Yes. I did.
Congratulations on that, by the way,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm not too far behind you though. So that's my next major goal is 5,000 subscribers. Then I'm going to be shooting for the big 10K,
Hmm. Hmm.
and just keep going like that. As far as projects, oh my God, I got notepads upon notepads of like just concepts and ideas. I think the major thing that I'm aiming toward right now, like I mean, Halloween's coming up,
Hmm.
and I generally try to celebrate Halloween in some way, either doing a movie review or sometimes I do like a live stream. I might do a live stream again this year as well. But I'm thinking about something fairly big for Halloween. I don't want to reveal too much, but the script is being written.
Yeah. I've seen one of your Halloween ones last year, I believe, where you did a review on a horror movie. I forget which one it was, but it was pretty good.
I think I did two last year. It was Village of the Damned, which was an old one, and Trick or Treat, which was I think it was like 2012 or 2011 or something.
Hmm.
Both very good movies. I'm kind of proud of how both of those reviews turned out.
Yeah, I really liked. I remember watching the Village of the Damned one, and it was very good. So
Um,
let me ask you this, Fade. It wouldn't be a conversation between you or I unless we brought up a little bit of Breath of Fire. Have you
of
heard Breath
course.
of Fire 6? Did you
What?
hear it? Did you hear it?
What?
They plan on releasing Breath of Fire 6.
You serious?
Yes, but
You're lying. No, I don't believe you.
the thing about it is it's going to be a tablet and a what's the other word, like online game. And I was very
Okay.
sad to hear that. I was very sad. Someone
So
told me, and I
it's
googled
like
it right away.
it's go- so it's gonna be like a tablet game.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by like online though?
It's supposed to be like it's gonna
Like
be
an
on
exception
like a
or
social game, like
ooh, you don't want to call it a social game. That's a surefire way to fail.
yeah, especially with the fact that I don't know. I don't. Are any any Breath of Fire fans gonna actually get it? I mean, I don't know. And then I saw one picture of it had like a dude with red hair, and I was like,
He
what's
has the
going?
wrong hair color.
I know. I was
What?
like, what's going on here? But I just recently saw that someone posted on one of my videos, and I was like, really? And I just Googled it as soon as I found out, and then I was like, it's gonna be an online game. What the hell? You know,
I
social.
don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, it's gonna suck and nobody
Yeah,
buy it because it might. Like, just because it's on like a tablet platform. Well, obviously, I'm not gonna buy it because I don't have a tablet.
yeah. Neither do I.
Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a bad game. I think they should definitely have went with like PS4 if they were thinking like seriously about reviving the series like that.
Hmm.
At least don't call it Breath of Fire 6 if you're putting it on the tablet. Call it like Breath of Fire Stupid Minigame Edition or
Yeah,
something.
I think
Like
so. The
I don't
response to
know. I'm
that
gonna
the
have to read up
response
on it.
that I gave was that I'm glad that they're coming out with a new Breath of Fire. I'm glad because at least someone's recognizing that, hey, this franchise or series needs to continue. But I was saddened that I heard that it's going to be on a tablet. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know. That sounds like a really weird business choice. I mean, I suppose mobile games are kind of successful, but Breath of Fire has been established as like a really narrative, like a really deep narrative-based RPG.
hmm
And also in the past, it's been an A-list game.
yeah, I would say
Um,
so. Definitely. You had.
and you know what? The financial state, like if that game fails and doesn't sell a whole bunch, we'll probably like never see another Breath of Fire product again if that
No.
mobile thing is not like a stellar success.
And with the way that Capcom is going, I don't know. Capcom has been making some poor decisions lately, and I just feel like, what is going on with the people who are in charge over there? What are they thinking? Is the thing I'm thinking.
Capcom,
Yeah.
hire me and Kenshin to
I
make Breath
know.
of
I
Fire.
I remember I was telling you this great idea that I had for like a Breath of Fire game, and I've actually been writing it. I've been writing down like what would happen in the various sections and whatnot, and like what characters would be involved, and what like different classes of characters. You'd have like you'd have Blue, you'd have the Wind Clan, you'd have the Bow guys, the Fox guys. All these different clans that I was like trying to get all these people in, and there would be like homages to every game in this one game. It was gonna be one big cool game, but now that they got this Breath of Fire 6, I don't know if I can send them my treatment for the game.
Uh, you know what? I would send it anyway because that sounds like a much better idea than what they have.
Yeah, and a hero
And
with
yeah,
red
I
hair.
think they would be stupid not to take that and like hire you. I don't know.
Well,
Like
I don't want
it
to.
just seems natural to me, and like that seems like the intelligent path to go for Breath of Fire, like what you just said.
Yeah,
Um,
just
or
kind of
or
be like,
even be like, okay, screw it, we're gonna make a Breath of Fire MMO, guys. Like
Mm.
that would probably still suck, but like at least you could do something with that. That would have potential.
yeah. But even with the
The
Breath
mobile
of Fire
game.
MMO, it would be kind of neat because you have all these clans of different people, and you could be a different clan and have all this kind of cool different powers and stuff, and that'd be pretty cool. But just going tablet.
Yeah, like it has a race system built into it. Like
Yeah.
they thought about this beforehand, I think. Like before like the internet even existed, they were like, you know what, we know what's gonna happen in 2014.
Yeah, this is gonna happen, and we're gonna have a hero with red hair. Well, I hope he's not the hero. I hope it's just some dude, because if you look it up later, there's like a picture of some red-haired fellow just laying next to a tree, and I'm like, that better not be Ryu.
That you know what, laying next to a tree sort of sounds like it might be Ryu or
Yeah.
Ryu.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Fade, just to kind of go back to you, because this is an interview about you. Let me ask you: do you feel like that you are part of a community on YouTube?
Um,
Like
I think
like
I'm
either
part.
sorry
Oh, go
like
ahead.
either in gaming or like have you reached out to anyone else who's done like videos similar to yours, like retrospects or reviews, and they've been like rather well, the word, I guess, friendly, and you've been able to communicate with all these other people?
Well, I think as far as that goes, like it's sort of like a budding community.
Hmm.
I've made friends with a couple YouTubers, started to network a little bit. I haven't been really successful in reaching out to like anybody bigger than my channel, but like as far as people starting out YouTube, that I happen to come across, and like we can talk about videos and stuff like that. For example, like, well, me and you, we're pretty chummy about YouTube most of the time.
Hmm.
I also have my friend Sophie Brecca, youtube.com/Sophie Brecca, and Nadine25, youtube.com/Nadine25. Those are two really cool gamer chicks that I hang out with from time to time.
Nice. And you know
Uh,
what? You know what? I don't know how many gamer chicks are out there, so that's pretty cool that you hang out with a couple of them.
Yeah, and also I've gotten involved with like a Final Fantasy IX fan dub. I'm actually going to make my acting debut. I have to do my lines actually sometime soon, maybe tonight.
Oh, very
Uh,
nice.
so we're doing a fan dub of Final Fantasy IX. That's over at youtube.com/memorieshope.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess the answer is yeah. I definitely feel like I'm part of a community. I feel that the community that I'm in is sort of like it feels like a baby community compared to some of the bigger YouTube communities that you obviously see because they're popular.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm part of something right now.
Yeah.
Something that needs to grow.
I think it needs to grow too. Like that whole action with way back when Nintendo was like, oh, we're gonna put money on, we're gonna take away everyone's the ads from, or take away the revenue from anyone's ads who were playing Nintendo games, and then we're just gonna take them all for ourselves. I feel like
I
if
think
we
they're
were,
still doing that.
yeah, they are, but I'm just saying, like, when that originally happened, I bet if the LP community, or because I would consider you a part of the LP community, uh, I would think if the LP community was bigger and they were more popular, I think that maybe if we all got together and say, you know what, this is not right, maybe we could have gotten something done. But for the time being, I've noticed that a lot of the smaller YouTubers, such as myself and you, and people who aren't like super popular, such as like Chugga and NCS and all that, they don't bother with us, which is kind of nice.
Well, I believe it's a matter of what value it has monetarily.
Yeah.
So Nintendo's looking at numbers.
Mhm.
They're like, this guy is getting a couple million views a day. That's a significant chunk of change. I think we're going to click the button and take that over. Whereas, a Fade Dragontear's video that gets like 150 views or something like that, they're just like, whatever.
Yeah, I think so. So, what is, if you don't mind me asking, what is this Final Fantasy fan dub? Is it just basically you guys are going to be acting out the game and
Yeah,
putting
no,
in?
it's actually already going on our channel.
Mhm.
So you can check it out. They're like a couple acts into the game already. But yeah, it's essentially a playthrough of Final Fantasy IX. But instead of like having like a gameplay commentary, it's actually actors acting out the parts.
Very awesome. And what
Yeah.
role did you end up getting?
I think I'm like old man or surly. I don't even. Hold on, wait. I actually have the thing
Nice. This is
somewhere.
very cool. Are you gonna? Which city are you in then?
I think I'm in Dolly.
Oh, very nice. Early in the game, very
Yeah.
memorable. If you're the old coffee
Yeah, no,
man.
I'm like a side character because okay, this here's like my acting debut. So obviously they're not gonna give me like Zidane
Yeah,
or
of course, yes.
yeah. So like I'm just like I'm in there. I think I got like maybe 4 lines or something.
Well, that's
Uh,
still pretty cool.
but yeah, it's at least I get to try it out, and then Safi, who's Memories Hope, the person's putting it on, will get to
Mhm.
yell at me for being a bad actor.
You
She
know
told me
what?
not to sound badass. She's like, no. She's like, just sound normal.
Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna have to check that out because I'm interested in who they get to voice the Don. Because if I remember in the what is that, Disaiga game, the one where you get to be all the heroes, he had like a little kid voice, and I was like, that is not what I had
Oh,
him sound like.
yeah.
Yeah, Dissidia, yes.
As I recall, I think like he sounds a little bit cocky, which is
Mhm.
good. He doesn't sound like a little kid. He sounds sort of like Actually, no, I think it was a good, pretty good casting.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that, but I will definitely check out this.
YouTube.com/memorieshope. Once again, guys. There
Yeah.
you go. There's your promotion, Safi.
Yeah, and so speaking of like communities and whatnot, who would you say is your inspiration for starting your videos? Like was there anyone in particular, like a channel that you were like, oh man, look at these cool videos, I could do this, or like if there was someone who were making videos and like, man, I want to make videos on YouTube. What was your inspiration?
My inspiration, well, I mean, firstly, in high school, I did radio and television broadcasting, so I've always sort of had an interest in doing some kind of media. And also, even in high school, I remember I was using the equipment that we had in the editing in the editing room, we had an old Avid Avio editing machine, which was a Mac-based editing suite. And I had Final Fantasy X, and I took that into class and sort of like filmed that. And actually the first thing I did was a fan dub of Final Fantasy X. You know what, I forgot that for years. And yeah, so, and then it just sort of transferred to YouTube. Obviously, when I first came to YouTube, I didn't really have the same equipment. Like, I was using my old computer, and I was barely able to edit, like, Tibia videos, like, old Tibia videos in, like, 240p.
Yeah, that's some bad quality.
But as far as, like, inspiration, like, I mean, movies, television, I could name off, like a million things, like Ghostbusters, Stanley Kubrick, Breath of Fire, the games like that. As far as like YouTubers and stuff like that, one of the first YouTubers that I really got into was Daystorm, and he's been a really motivating factor as far as me being a YouTuber. Content-wise, I think the Angry Video Game Nerd made me think like, oh, it's actually possible to do the kind of thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
And other people, for example, Channel Awesome, who are not necessarily YouTubers. I think they have a YouTube channel, or some of them have YouTube channels. But I follow a lot of those producers as well. They make pretty good work over there at Channel Awesome.
So, being from the background of like TV and video production, which I was in as well, do you feel like it's great that you still have this opportunity to like create something? Like you're making something out of nothing, and it's like, man, I'm making this video, and it's gonna be up here, and it's like, cause I feel that way whenever I make a video. It's like, I'm still using my skills that I had. Like this is it's sort of also, it's a hobby for me, but it's also sort of my passion, and I just feel like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like, when I make a video, it's like, I'm creating something, and this is great that I'm able to create something. I feel like me and you are very similar in that fact, where we're both very creative individuals.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's definitely when I put up a video, for the most part, if it's if it's not like sometimes I'll just do like a live stream and just play and be silly. And then if I put up like a more thought-provoking video, however, it's a lot goes into the creation of it. A lot of thought goes into like, okay, how do I want people to react when they look at my video, and put it up there and just see like how people interact to it and how what kind of thoughts it can bring to people. It's a very, very, very rewarding process.
Yeah, I would say that too. I love the fact I love the comments occasionally that I get where it's like, oh, thank you for helping me. I was stuck on this spot for the longest time, and I'm so happy because it's like, yeah, finally these videos are like, they're actually, helping people out and figuring out how to play the game, which I think is very rewarding as well.
Most of mine are people raging at me for missing simple things.
Yeah. Well,
It's the
Minecraft
complete opposite. You're like, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, thank you, Kenshin, for showing me that. And with me, it's like, Fade, you missed this again.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
But you know what? As long as you're being informative, I mean, you're being thorough. That's all that really matters.
Well, with me, one of the good parts is when somebody asks me what is this anime at this point, like in my main two videos that I mentioned there. For example, what's the video at 1:45 or something like that, and it's like, oh, this here movie. I have a full review here. I think it was Devilman, actually, that somebody asked about, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and that, in a way that helps out. That in a way you're helping other people be creative in the essence that someone might have not known what Devilman was, and they're like, wow, that looked pretty damn cool, and then they ask you what it is. You tell them, and then they're like interested in actually watching it, and then like sometime down the road they'll be like, this might be one of these animes that they love, and they'd be like, oh, I love this show or from here, and then how'd you hear about Devilman? Oh, this YouTuber Fade Dragontear, and it's just kind of cool how like things like that, like I don't know, I just find that kind of cool, like that we have this sort of power that we can help people out, like, and I just find it super rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. Helping people out is great. I like to bring a little bit of education to my videos. Like you mentioned before with the dancing cat girls and the fact that the creator of Ghost in the Shell does porn on the side. I just thought, little facts like that. It's good to know those kinds of things.
Yeah, because you could always use that for like
That's
if
like
you
real
ever
life. Yeah, that's real
yeah, if
life
you ever run into
knowledge
some
right
sort
there.
of weird Jeopardy, like a bizarro Jeopardy, and they ask you a question like that, you could be like, boo boo boo. He did porno. What is porno? And yeah, there's $500.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of like my view on our overarching culture. I feel like the videos of this time, like if you think about it, if you look back to like the 20s, stuff like that's being looked at like historically, and like even culture going through that. It's a study. It's something that's very serious that we're perpetuating in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that feeling. I think that's great. Just the thought that in 10 years that maybe one of my videos might still be out there, like maybe getting views in 10 years time.
Yeah, that makes me feel pretty cool too. Like I'm almost immortal. You know what I mean? Like hopefully, we all place our bets into YouTube that it'll be around for a while, that people could watch our videos for years and years to come and be like, oh my god, do you believe they played a game like this? Or like, look at these things these older people used to watch. They're like, oh,
That I'll be able to show my grandchildren. Yeah, here's the games that I used to play when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean YouTube's run by some pretty intelligent people, so I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So Fade, you're not only a YouTuber, like in the essence of being an LPer and making various videos, but you also are a very charitable fellow. I remember one time where you stayed up for 24 hours for gaming, gaming for 24 hours to raise money for what was it, St. Jude's?
It was through extralife.org, and it was actually for my local hospital here, the IWK in
Yeah.
Halifax.
That was
Um,
pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I learned that I hated the Dead Space series.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really fun stream, but yeah, once you get up to the end of that game, Dead Space is horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, we managed to raise quite a bit. I don't remember the exact amount that it was for those for the charity.
But that is pretty
but-
cool that you're giving back. I mean, you're not just like, I'm just gonna make videos. Like you're actually thinking about other people, and that these are all very good causes. I think I would love to do a stream one day if I get some free time, just to play for like a couple hours and hopefully like raise money for charity either or as well. It'd be kind of neat. Do you plan on doing anything like that again? Maybe not 24 hours, but do you plan on like doing any other kind of charity streams for other various causes?
Oh, for sure. I like doing those types of charity streams. It's a good way to have some fun while doing some good.
Mm-hmm.
As a YouTuber, I sort of struggle with like currently right now, like I only basically do YouTube. So I sort of struggle with, okay, what am I contributing to society by being here right now?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, the charity thing is sort of like a guilt relief, I guess, for me to be like, I'm not just sitting around being useless all day. I can make a little bit of a difference. As far as like specifics, I don't have anything specific planned for charity.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm ever approached with anything like that, I'm definitely on board.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing you did, and like I said, I think what me and you are like spot on about that. Like I don't feel like just a loafer.
We should do some. We should find a cause, me and you, and we should do a 24-hour gaming marathon between.
Oh man, I would do the first 12, and then you would do the next 12.
No,
I think.
no, we would both have to do 12
It
or
would-
24 together.
It would have to be on a weekend, of course.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, you have a real life. That's right too.
It's only real. It's only real to a certain point, and then when you get done with the day, and then you have your time for quote unquote loafing, and then we can do what we really want to do.
But yeah, we could definitely do something like that. We should.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting idea. We just have to figure out what cause. Like occasionally, I remember one time some group did a whole weekend stream of trying to beat every single Dragon Quest within the weekend.
Oh God.
And they were
No,
trying.
they wouldn't do that. You couldn't do that. That's impossible.
I think they got. I want to say they got up to 7, and then someone started playing 8, and they didn't finish 8, and they didn't finish 7. and because seven's an insanely long game.
Yeah, you know, I did finish 7. That took me forever.
Hmm
8, I haven't finished yet. I have an active save of it. I've been playing it off and on a little bit. I love it. Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah, that is
So
that
well
is
designed.
one of my favorite games for the PS. Probably one of my definitely either one or two on the PS2. One of my favorite games.
Yeah, it's so well made for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It's Dragon Quest 7 though. That's the first Dragon Quest that I really got into.
hmm
And I love just like the collecting pieces of the shards of the world, and then you can go and get more people for your town that give you more shards, and then you go back and you get more people for your town, and it just goes on forever, like 7 loops of that.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of pretty great stories involved too. Like each land has something going on with it, and some of them are very heart wrenching, and some of them are very fun, and some of them are very just like the townspeople are dicks, and it's like I don't agree with anything these people are saying. You know what I mean? You got all these different things going on. Actually, they're thinking about well, I hope they're going to bring out a 3DS version of that game, which would be pretty cool.
I think Dragon Quest 10 is 3DS
Oh,
or
that would be
9
pretty.
or one of them. There's one of them for the 3DS. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be Dragon Quest 9 is for the
You
DS.
played that? Yes, I saw. That's where I. Yeah, no, you let's played that already,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Exactly. As far as the Dragon Quest series, someday a retrospective has to be made of that.
Yeah, and now what would your process go along with that? Would
Oh
you
my god, I
would
don't
you
know.
do each game individually, or would you think
I would
about
have
doing
to.
each? Well, the first 6 games are 2 trilogies. I'm sure you could maybe do a retrospective of just each trilogy. That might save you time.
That might be an idea. See, I haven't I've played an early Dragon Quest, like a normal Nintendo Dragon Quest, but I don't remember what one it was, or like I wasn't old enough to read at that point. So, yeah, Dragon Quest 7 and 8 are really the only two that I'm familiar with. So I would actually have to go back and play all the Dragon Quest to form my opinions on it. And then, yeah, at that point, by the sounds of it, I would probably want to consolidate the first 3 games into one script, and
Yeah,
then do it that way, maybe.
because
But
there
yeah,
are a
like
lot of games.
for big projects like that, I don't even know where to start with the logistics. Like that's why I avoid I don't want to do Final Fantasy. I don't want to do Dragon Quest. I want to do name anything that has any more than 10 games in the series. And you're that's Breath of Fire took me a year, and that was like 5 videos, and that was a game that I was very familiar with already. So yeah, that for me to be I'm gonna sit down and do an entire Dragon Quest retrospective would be okay, there's the next 3 years of my life.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
would take a while.
kind of hesitant to do that. I was thinking about shorter projects for myself personally right now, and at least until I can get my channel to the point where I can take okay, I'm going to take 3 years to review Dragon Quest now.
Yeah.
So you might see something like Chrono Trigger is one that is definitely on my list. There's only 2 games in that series. I really have no excuses. So I
And
might go for that
Chrono
one.
Trigger is a great game. Chrono Cross, have you had a lot of experience with that game?
Oh yeah, tons of experience with both Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. But once again, I would have to play through them completely over again, just to get my opinions, get the footage, get the script written. So regardless, it would still be that kind of a retrospective is tons of work. That's why you see a lot more anime and stuff on my channel, because I could sit down watch an anime and however
2
long the
hours, you
anime
know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get through one animated movie and you'd be like, all right, let's see. Where are my notes? Okay, this
Yeah.
happened, this happened, this happened. I want to talk about this,
Exactly.
this, and this. So how
And
do you
get
go? How
good
do you go
jokes
about?
like that.
How do you go about getting clips? Do you just capture them from your capture device, or are you watching them on your computer, or how does that usually work? Let me just quickly what are the logistics of are you gonna get screwed because you're showing this one clip, or are you protected by something, or how does that work?
As far as that goes, I think I have what is it they call it, fair use under wraps a little bit here.
Yeah.
Because what I definitely feel like I create transformative work. Now I'm no lawyer. I'm just a small country YouTuber. but
Mhm.
I haven't been dinged with anything yet. Like I've had content claims. For example, the Trick or Treat film.
Mhm.
Like the review I did of that. That sort of like Warner Brothers was like, yeah, we kind of own that movie, and I was like, yeah, you guys kind of own that movie.
So do you have to
So
take
now
it
our revenue
down?
for that video goes to them.
Oh, so you can't put up an ad on that one.
Well, there is an ad, but it's the Warner Brothers. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
content owner's ad.
So
So that's
so
how.
do you think about that as you're going through like making a review of a certain movie or anything like that?
Generally, I feel that I'm paying enough of a tribute to the creators. That if somebody that was actually like not just the lawyer for the company looked at it and they were like, "Oh, hey, this is a cute little nod to my work." So like, hopefully, I won't get in trouble in any like any way like that. I think most of the stuff that I get dinged for is like just automated. Like, oh, this here looks, this specific clip is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, like YouTube, like automatically goes to that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So let me
uh,
ask you one last question, Fade, before we end here.
yeah, sure.
What is your guiltiest pleasure on YouTube? What do you think that is?
Guiltiest pleasure on YouTube. I like watching battle rap leagues sometimes.
Battle
King,
rap leagues.
yeah, King of the Dot. It's like a Canadian battle rap thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. Like I mean, it's essentially like a poetry jam more than like battle rapping. It's a battle of the wits. I really enjoy watching two people sort of face off and try to tear each other down verbally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you also get to see like camaraderie between the people. So yeah, like I mean that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't normally admit is like yeah I watch battle raps on YouTube, but I watch battle raps on YouTube.
Hey man, everyone's got their own weird thing. You
Yeah,
know what?
you know my
I'll
deep dark secret.
I'll tell you what mine is. Mine is where's that? I have that lady's name written down somewhere. I usually watch what the hell is that? Miss Misa Cat or something like that.
Oh,
She's
Miss Hannah Minx.
yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no.
I don't watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't watch it for the JWoww, the Japanese word of the week. I'll tell you that. I think
No.
I watch it more for her va va voom. If you get what I'm saying.
She reminds me. Do you know who? Was it Elvira or Elmira?
Yeah,
Old
Elvira.
vampire chick. Yeah, it's like her sort of. I don't know. She's cute, man. Like
Yeah. Well, I'm not
she's
saying
not
she's
hard on
not
the eyes. I like the
exactly.
boobs.
And you know
And
what?
she knows it. Like that girl knows it. Like
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna show off my boobs a little bit because, like, yeah, man. All the power
Exactly.
to her. If I had boobs, I would have so many more subscribers. It's
I
not even
think
funny.
so. If I had better looking boobs because I do have a little bit of a man boob going on here, but if I had better boobs, I'd probably have my camera angled at a certain degree.
You should title this video "Boobs on Webcam."
Yeah, and be
It'd be
like, "Ooh, look at these, huh?" And then I'd be like, "Niece, me how?" And then blah blah blah, But
Like,
she,
well, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I slipped some boobs in my videos. Like the adult American animation. Cool World is like one of the crappiest movies ever, but I heavily made use of the animation that was in it for my video because that chick is kind of hot as a cartoon chick. So.
yeah, Kim
And you know
Basinger.
what? It apparently works because it gets more views than my other stuff. So
I've noticed also if you put in some sort of sexy title in the naming of your video, you'll get more views. I've noticed, which is kind of
yeah.
funny.
Well, sex sells, man. Like I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
people have known this for many years, and it's not a surprise to anybody. Like obviously, I can't really sell my channel on the sex appeal except for to the ladies.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I am definitely guilty of using like thumbnails, not necessarily misleading thumbnails, but thumbnails that will entice the viewer.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that personally. I don't think it is, because you know what? If you click on it and then you're like, whatever, you just click away. It's like
Well,
whatever.
I keep close to the subject matter at the very least.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if I'm putting boobs on the thumbnail, like there is definitely some boobs in the video.
yeah. I totally
So,
understand that. I see nothing wrong with that personally,
yeah.
because it's you know what? If I click on it and I notice, hey, there's not enough boobs in these videos, I click away. That's what I do. And most people would do that too. They wouldn't like leave a comment in the section saying, "Where are the more boobs here?" I want more
Also,
titties.
also, guys, let's try a little experiment here. You guys, if you want to see my boobs, go to my channel, youtube.com/Fadedragontear, and go to the channel comments and like just leave a comment saying, "Show me your boobs." If I get enough of those, I will show you my boobs.
He will show you his boobies. This is, you know what, and
Sure.
I think that is the perfect way to end this interview. I think this is a very good interview, Fade. I hope
I think that was a horrible way to end this interview, but I don't know if we're gonna get any better than that. So.
Yeah. You gotta know when end. You gotta know either when to end low and just cut your losses, or end on a high note and be
I
like,
think
"I'm
I
out of
should
here."
cut my losses here.
Yeah.
Where I'm going, I'll show you my boobs. That's
Yeah.
as low as I get.
But Fade, it has been a pleasure to talk to you. And once again, if you want to check out Fade Dragontear, I will have the links in the video description. Yeah, I just hope you enjoyed talking, because I thought this was pretty good.
Oh, dude, I had a blast. Anytime you want to like have me over, you should actually me and you should do like something together soon.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
we should
gotta
check
find
out.
like a 2-player game or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
All right, so goodbye.
Toodles.
Peace out.